Hello and welcome to Squad Ops One Life Events. We've got Operation Sleeping Serpents Part 3. Burr, 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 burr. I need an air horn button. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna get that fixed next time I commentate here. I am Bcarr, calling the action for you today. A little solo stream, but I'm never alone because I got my buddy Shattered Ritual running the production. He's got the multicam. We got a handful of POVs out there for you, including mine. And we're going to show you guys what Squad Ops One Life events are all about. Sleeping Serpents Part 3. This is sort of a mini campaign, I guess you could call it that we've been playing. Last weekend we did Part 1, Session 1, Part 2 for Session 2. We're doing Part 3 for Session 1 today. And the difference between normal campaigns and this mini campaign is that there's only 3 missions. Each side will get to play both sides of the missions. Where typical campaign is sequential missions, but everyone stays in the same team that they joined the server on when the session begins. And there's also less cohesiveness and connection between operations. But this is going to be fun. We're here on the mighty Gora dock and on our cool modded layer. This is a British versus Russia map. Before we go over the operation in detail, let's go over who's on what team. Today, HML is commanding British first. His squad leaders are Xbit, Hero, Efank, and Bump. Oh, looks like we're getting a platoon brief for British, so we're going to get over there real quick. For Russia, Sugart is in command with squad leads Dorf, Crispy, Londarts, and Storm.
Yeah, it's like an IED, but better.
You get a little picture of the British forward spawn.
Yeah, it'll go through walls, so that's why it's.
I suppose this isn't everyone.
You know, a couple guys are in, just use that. That way, when you breach, those dudes are dead, and you can go walk over the corpse and occupy the building.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Take a look at the map here.
To get shot in the face. Yeah.
The British, we'll show you where the British could spawn, but basically any east side of the river. However, they've chosen to put a couple outposts here in Hotel 12-1, and I believe that's Bravo 13-3.
Oh, here? No.
And they've split up, so they're going to split their forces here.
Got a full platoon over here watching them across the river.
And you could see more symbols being placed on the map.
We'll move either south or north, and we'll just form up on the other fire team.
So something tells me we're not going to have an entire committed push or collective push here. So there's 2-pronged attack. Let's take a look at the map for the operation. We should have one on file here. It should show up on the screen right about now. Basically, British start anywhere in the blue area, and there are 2 sets of villages that Russia will control for this operation. They place fobs at both villages in the set, or well, first they get to choose which village set they have for this operation. I believe they have south villages for round 1, which means when we switch sides, the British, when they switch to Russia, will have to defend north villages. The south villages are on the map. They have fobs. They have defenses. Matter of fact, those defenses are an HMG tripod along with fortifications. Russ also gets a mortar base, which they can deploy 1x mortar tube and nothing else. So, British assets for this operation.
All right, are you guys ready?
We're doing platoon.
We're hearing some briefing times getting started here shortly. We're going to try to get over. I think they're in the middle of their brief, but let's see. They get 2 ARs, 1 lat, 1 breacher, 1 medic for British. That's per squad, and on the platoon level, they get 2 MGs. The Russians get 2 ARs, 1 lat, 1 medic per squad. This is the southwestern British group.
We're going to be using peninsulas as cover. We're going to get to around Charlie 9 until we cut around the field.
Let's listen into this briefing.
Once we get to that position, Efank is going to take his squad over to Echo 10 and roughly Foxtrot 10. He's going to try to split them up in a line facing west to east, looking north. He's going to try to catch out any reinforcements coming to Desna. Low Bump and Hero will then make their way down to the northwest end of Desna, set up a position just outside the field of view from Desna, and they're going to cause a distraction on the northwest, basically trying to get the forces at Neva Lower to start moving. Hopefully, with the amount of firepower that Bump and Hero have, the forces at Neva Lower will move into Exped's squad. Exped is going to be on the east. He's going to try to position himself in Solo Ninki. If things get too hot and heavy in Desna, Exped's going to join us on the south flank. But pretty much that is the base of the plan. Efank and Exped are causing the... they're going to be trying to take out the reinforcement squads that are coming to support the Desna assault, and Hero and Bump are pretty much doing the assault and causing the distraction prior. Do you have any questions?
Do we know where the baddies start?
Baddies, they start in both Neva Lower and Desna. So each one has a mortar, each one has a fob. One of the fobs get a mortar, one gets HMGs and sandbags. So they have to split up their squads in both villages, so 2 and 2 preferably. But they could do 3 and 1.
Still waiting on a
Question.
couple.
Yep,
And
shoot.
sets of civilians.
Do we need to take both or just one of them?
Just one of them. So that's actually a good point. Depending on how it looks, and if the mortar is in Neva Lower, we can completely just pull out and attack Neva Lower. Which is just an option. Yeah, shoot.
I thought we get warriors.
Negative. We do not warriors. The old. Sorry. No.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't warriors then.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Oh yes, do the Russians get any vehicles?
Russians do not get vehicles. They get transports though, and lodges. So
All right, the British are going over
Yeah,
very
that's
last
nice.
finer details of their plan.
Oh, one
H,
thing
are
I
you
also
guys
wanted-
ready?
They're going
Yep, we're
to
One thing I want to mention.
do a sweeping in
we have a
around.
tab
Again,
on
sorry for the
Solo
delay.
Ninki.
Got a bunch of really slow stragglers popping in.
Still
That's completely
getting
fine.
players coming in the server. And so they're going to do an end around run. They're going to sort of position themselves between the 2 bases. The Russian bases are going to be in Echo 12, 8 and Golf 8, 6. These are the southern villages. And they're going to sort of come up. They're going to go straight north from the southwest starting position they're at, and then hook it east in Bravo 9, Charlie 9. Get themselves between the 2 objectives, figure out which one they're going to attack, and then go for it. It's a pretty solid plan, considering there's a lot of foliage that covers their approach. The only big rub is if they get spotted crossing the river. If they get spotted crossing the river from the southern village here in Echo 12-8, that could be a pretty rough plant. And that could throw a wrench in it for sure. But of course, British have two different starting points. Most of the squads are going to be in the southwest. There is one squad to the southeast. I believe Expit's in charge of those guys. As we get a live time here, get a live time just about 2 minutes away. Let's take a look at the Russian village here. And looks like they're going to start
I'm just gonna set my squad up.
about
by
3
accident.
squads here. Or maybe it just looks like 2 in the commander. Looks like Russia is going to split their forces pretty evenly. Now, we're not sure if this is the town that's going to have the mortar or the supply dump. The Russians have 2 different types of fobs they can use, or they can deploy, rather. The supply dump is that HMG tripod. All right. The Russians have deployed 1 squad to the west, or sort of the west of the southern village. I believe they're getting a brief from their squad leader right now. The Russians are going to be in the red outlines, the British in the blue. We should have a live time here in about 30 seconds. Just as I say that, the British commander decides to chime in and say what I was thinking. So the biggest part of the British force could be very visible depending on how close they come to the village here. But I imagine they're going to stay far enough away. There's this bump in the river as it turns back south.
And then
Sounds good.
once
Alpha.
This peninsula here, this high hill, it depends on how far west the British are going to cross here. That
Remember, when we want to get north as quick as possible
they're
to stop any
crossing the river
squad that they
won't
have
be
running
spotted.
at us now.
And we are live, round 1 of Sleeping Serpents Part 3. We can see some platoon files coming out. The British command emphasizing speed to get north of the river, to get as far north as they can into Russian territory.
Hey, do you want us all in just kind of a dead sprint across the river, or do you want to kind of do this squad by squad?
We're gonna try to dead sprint across the river. Save your squad stam until we get to the river, and then just
HML ordering a dead sprint across the river. Definitely valuing being able to get in behind the Russian position. Clearly, that's what he's going for with the placement of the main bulk of his platoon.
Don't sprint, don't sprint.
Get spacing though back up so you're not like riding someone's ass.
Yeah,
Here we see Patter Toastman leading his platoon, or leading his squad rather. And from what I can tell here, looks like the Russians aren't going to have any indication. Of course, that's not the only British force on the map.
Okay, we are crossing the river.
copy. But looks of it, we got enough cover. Thanks to that.
Now,
Jack Peninsula.
the squad that started in the southeast has split into 2 fire teams. And they're moving. I believe this is the distraction play. They've left their squad lead behind, back where they spawned at. I believe that's Expert over there. We're going to take a look at this fire team to the north.
Confirm.
There's a lot
Alright,
of
we're gonna keep
movement
on north
in
here. If we come across a
Desna,
field, we're gonna go
out in the
around
open
the
too.
field.
So
So keep that in mind.
This is Swine leading this fire
To
team
your
here.
guys and other squads.
Yeah, that's why.
And in front of the formation is Imanaz. I would imagine this is the scouting party to check the northern village. Not to confuse with the north villages. Because this round, we know for sure that the Russians are protecting the southern village set.
looks like they may be reinforcing.
Are they not?
And
No, this
Fox
is the document.
11-1, and
Oh,
there's
they don't need
movement
to cover the
on
bridges.
far end of the compound area over in Echo 11.
Unless they break the rules, I guess.
A couple other rules for this particular operation. The bridges are verboten.
This is way too open. Make sure we're never
Because
actually
of the
visible.
massive amount of surveillance going on, as this is a very, hotly contested Russian border.
Do you have eyes on any contact on?
Alright, direct
The
march
bridges
from there
are
again.
obviously all under surveillance, and no one's going to be able to cross them and
It's very
stay
thin.
undetected.
There's like one or two guys laying down on the peninsula in Fox 12.
Copy that.
Let's take a look and see where all our forces are moved to right now.
So, where did you see him?
Directly 165 south-ish, that area.
There's two squads for Russia at the northern point. That's at Golf 8-6. And the two squads that started south in Echo 12-8. Looks like the fought position for the south is actually in Echo 11-2.
So it looks like they may be moving towards Radio Tower.
They have
Guys, make sure you
decided
don't
to
scout
split
on
up.
yourselves.
They have one squad watching the eastern river edge, one watching the
Yeah, I'm
west.
not trying to snap on you guys.
There
when
is
I,
a distraction
ask you to
squad
stop
for
talking like this, 'cause
British
I have like 5 people talking
south
over me at the
of
same
that
time.
entire
Yeah, I know.
formation.
Alright, so they were skylining
But
across that road.
there's been no shooting
Yeah,
yet,
I
so
saw them like the
pretty
second they called
sure
it out.
there hasn't been
we,
any
we had reports
contact.
of the guys in
And
Golf
even
11,
so,
that's where they
300
were.
meters, about 300 meters between them and
That
contact
means
with
they
Russian
might try to
forces.
come and use like this river and the tree line as cover.
They're probably trying to move over to Radio Tower.
Yeah.
Swine's fire team
Like
has
at
been
Kendrick's
spotted by Russian Commander
Yeah.
Storm. Or Russian, not commander, but squad lead Storm. Clearly, binocs are overpowered, but that's what they're supposed to be. The Northern Scouting Party or Distraction Force has been spotted. Swine's fire team is currently Hotel 10-8, and I believe they've halted position.
We're Axis. Keep following the tree line, but when we hit the road to our northeast, we'll just set up.
Meanwhile, the bulk of the British force still moving north in the B file, or the Bravo file of the map. Slowly crossing over to the Charlie file.
Or I got beacons.
That area.
Enemy
Copy,
spotted
Hotel
at
1087.
Hotel 1087.
Yep, they're slowly picking their way to engage whatever you feel, especially with those mortars. So they could still cut down here.
Getting a report that the Russians have a possible visual of enemies at Hotel 87, and
I have eyes on the entire field.
that would be wrong.
Yeah, we'll cross the short part of the field, the shortest part.
I'm having this feeling that I'm being watched by a whole bunch.
Oh, wait. Maybe that's British spotting Russian forces at Hotel 87.
Just start heading straight east.
Now, if that was the case, that would be correct.
Stop roughly over there.
Yeah, my squad is crossing.
Stormfront's shooting.
Shift fire to the
I
right.
believe he's shooting at that distraction squad.
Shift fire right.
I'll relay.
No command comms
Shift fire
chatter
right.
for the British yet.
How far?
50 meters to the right. Yep, Alpha's engaging.
Uh,
50 meters to the right. 50 meters to the right, 50 meters up the hill. Go diagonal to the right. 50 meters.
Bridge area.
Are they on the rock?
Yeah,
Yes.
they're in
Do you
the
see 'em moving?
rock. To the right, yep. Alright. Enemy forces are around the H10-58 area.
Alright, update on what's going on.
We're currently engaging them with small arms from long distance.
Where's that?
We're going to try to engage
Hotel
with more-
1058. So Hotel definitely had, or rather, Storm definitely has eyes on the southern element,
down
or
your fire rate.
the scouting
Slow down
element.
your fire rate.
We know that the scouting element has been recalled as per command comms. The commander,
They have
platoon
not
command,
engaged, sir.
specifically saying to pull them back.
Yeah, I can't confirm. Yeah, it was our squad.
The stipulation in the rules for this operation is that the Russians won't advance east of the river unless they've been provoked.
You want us to bypass this compound here
And
or
per the
something?
map, looks like they're not
Yeah,
going to the east side of the river.
Alright, Alpha, just watch the river, make sure they're not counter.
Although there has been shooting,
Bravo, I
and
need you
that
to start
scouting
moving
element
north
did
to
take
reinforce
fire.
Alpha.
Ooh, mortars.
Got it.
Alpha's falling back, probably mortars. Alright, I'll give you corrections.
Well, hopefully swine will displace.
Guys, don't get tunnel vision.
Yep, keep up your 360, guys.
Storm is trying to get those mortars landed on target, and he called it pretty
drop
close.
50 meters off those mortars.
That looks like it's too
Drop
far.
50 meters off those mortars.
Doesn't look like those mortars hit. At least they weren't kills on British troops.
Tell mortars to drop 50 meters and re-engage.
He's doing it right now.
Yep.
And now the British understand that the mortars are in Neva, which means they may be changing direction here to attack the northern village.
Wrong way. He went the wrong way.
He went higher.
Yeah, he went higher.
And HML, platoon lead for British, still electing to attack Desna.
Command, do you want me closer to Hero Squad or do you want to maintain this distance?
No, you guys got good spacing. This is good.
We're following Bump's squad. Here's Bump on the center of your screen, or center of my screen. Right? They're the closest to contact at this point. It's kind of a loose formation, but they're making progress in the direction of Desna. Matter of
Go
fact,
20 meters back the direction that he was.
they're heading southeast.
And fire forward back.
And there's a little plan going on here.
Make sure you have an Excel.
So the advancing forces in the south are waiting for Squad 4 to get in position.
Oh, dude, I have all the eyes.
Yeah. Where are we looking? East?
Nice.
One is more east. Looking east.
Take a look at that. This is
Your eyes,
Efank's
my eyes.
squad.
Yeah, set up for now theory.
That point from here, on this ridge, it's blocked by a lot of trees. If we push down, we'd have excellent cover to push into the village. Or at least support by fire.
Cover that.
Efank leading from the front here, trying to get his guys into position.
Shoot.
Command, it looks like they pulled up
developed our OPs on the east side of the Fox 12 peninsula, and they wandered back into Desna.
Ooh.
Copy that.
Take a look at what's happening here. The Russian Squad 1 has pulled off of Desna. There is only one squad defending Desna right now, and British have 2 squads ready to attack it.
At least one contact hiding inside buildings in Desna. Other than that, looks like they're inside buildings.
Squad 1 looking east. They saw the scouting. They saw the scouting element, and
Because they don't know what's going on, but they know something's happening.
they saw the scouting element in the east, and they pulled a squad for defensive cover. It's going to be their undoing as soon as they realize the southern village is being attacked. Depending on how close the British can get.
Some sort of good eyes to the town. I'm just not seeing anything.
However, all the Russian contacts,
You guys can set,
rather
MGs. If you guys get your MGs
a good
set,
portion
and
of
then
them,
start bounding by fire team
are defending inside of buildings. There's some maneuvering going on here.
See him crossing the river.
Matter of fact, this is Russian command.
He said fuck off somewhere else.
Sigart. He's ascending the hill trying to get some elevation so he could look at something.
Somewhere else. So we need to keep security.
Copy.
I'm gonna go.
As everyone's sort of trying to look out for where the British attack is coming to.
Mortars can reach that last call out.
They are sidelining. You can see them moving on
Can hit those coordinates.
Wait.
So that could have been Hero seeing Sugar and I guess the guy that's with him, who is Dark Milkshake.
They are in that village now.
Is they saw them moving over the hill. That's even less people defending the town.
They don't look like they're trying to
HML's got to pull a trigger on this assault soon. Oh.
But they don't go shots north of.
Where was that coming from?
I think it might have been an enemy indeed.
There was some fired in the north. I believe the Russians.
Are they north then?
Oh no. British ND. The British have complete surprise right now. The British have complete surprise. The Russians have zero expectation of enemy attack from their west right now. Matter of fact, here is the North Village position for Russia.
Hold on,
It's very,
Yeah, I'm spreading out my fire.
very lightly defended by one squad. There's only like 3 people inside of buildings on the point. That's 4. Okay, so there's 4 people. Bet you the mortar tube's around here somewhere. Because that's the radio.
Alright, so are we holding on this hill or are we moving?
Oh, no, it's on.
Alright, thank you.
Yep. Speak of the devil. The mortar tube hiding under a tree. And it's still shooting to the it's still shooting to the southeast here. Matter of fact, it's way off target. That mortar's got to be at least 10 degrees off target for squad 1 for British.
Nope.
I didn't see it.
I-1045, right?
And
Right,
here we
let's,
go. HML is
try
now
this again.
starting to poke
Maybe
his
I'm
toe
looking at
into
the
the
ridge.
southern village over
see
here.
H1056.
Far northeast. Very far.
H1056.
Try
Looks like
H1056.
1 Russian, maybe 2 are actually looking north. But there's not that many back there. Matter of fact, there's a the eastern screen here along the river is they have looks like a couple guys watching their west.
Copy that. Give me 1 round on there.
Copy.
these two guys right here. This is Glory and Cadus. They're looking in the right direction. This is the squad that's on the eastern riverside. And if you can tell, the British are completely trying to hide here. And HML is now called weapons free on Desda. They snuck all the way to the building. Beastman with his buddy Ben.
Go. Go.
They're clearing buildings.
You guys got more coming towards you.
Bottom floor clear.
Yeah, they're trying to pick off squad one over here.
Silas is the only Russian watching the direction that these guys could be potentially coming through.
Okay, blue 2 stories clear.
Even he's abandoning his position.
Copy that. Squad 1, try to see if you can head further south and just start engaging on the southeast peninsula. Have at least one fire team with an AR to do something to...
Russians engaging out now.
Okay, we're taking our fire. We're taking fire from the south. There's an AR set up in a blue or a green 2-story in the middle of the village.
Copy, I have eyes on him. All weapons free.
That he could see. Doesn't appear to be any casualties by him. Ooh, Peach got hit. What a shot.
Someone on the radio building just got wounded. Or might be killed, I can't tell.
British are now moving in.
They're really close.
Silas fell back to another compound. And a fire team from the east. Oh,
Do we have any visibility on that road?
the Russians have an elevated position behind hard cover.
Visibility here. Start pulling back west, pushing west.
Yeah, we're currently not effective. We've lost it.
Start moving west. We're gonna attack on the west side after they're on the east.
Rough red is Foxtrot 10-2-6 across the field. At least one fire team, 2 ARs.
And it looks like
Pushing with a hero squad. Ethan, try to neutralize eye contact on your southeast.
a little bit of
Try to head south more, engage the
there's
contact
definitely
to
some
the west.
casualties here for British. They got hammered from that elevated base of fire.
Yeah, command. We don't have any targets.
East close.
Copy that. You've crossed on the southeast peninsula.
Reloading.
Bluescape putting some fire down, keeping some Russians pinned.
I see an SL. It's
We have contacts on the rocks to the south, Lily.
The British continue
South of that red story we called out.
to try to engage at range here.
Holy shit.
Ooh,
Hey, here, watch out. You guys are dying behind you.
RAF got ended.
Is that you surprising me?
I'm looking north just in case they try and move around.
Thanks, man. Nope. See you now.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
taking
we're
second.
dropping. So we're gonna get rid of.
Oh, they've added
Getting off the mortars.
sandbags here for some cover.
Locking down what we have right
Pretty smart. Although I'm sure they have to realize they got to push out of this eventually.
Ours.
More British casualties. I hear another person giving up.
Got fire coming from the direct north. Is there a possibility they can flank us west?
Silas to your west.
They're already kind of dipping west.
Okay, beware.
Beware in your beat. Go down to Echo 12. Echo 12-1.
Echo 12.
Up on the rock. That rock Bravo team was on. Go down.
And HML now realizing that speed is the key,
Moving out.
trying to get his forces to push in.
You don't have visual on the western contacts, but they seem to be working their way west. Yeah, from view.
The forces closest to Desna here are sort of pinned along this wall, and
That's more or less direct north.
they're sort of pinned on this wall, but thankfully they got these sandbags here so that no one could shoot up the side of the wall. But Aussie Potter going full cyclic there.
Go right ahead.
Looks like he threw a whole mag away right there. Ooh.
Ow.
That was a heat round, I think, because it caused some people to bandage on the other side of the wall.
Oh, Matt, we could go around this side because the wall goes pretty far.
Think we can do it?
Start
It's
suppressing
within
any
this.
ops buildings. Just make sure the contact is clear for low bumps across.
Copy, we made it across with no incident.
Anyone
How
else
much
hit?
damage did I take?
Oh, you're almost dead.
Oh.
That was a
Like-
question in spacing.
According to the
Once everyone reaches this building, we're going to be heading up in the hills to the south.
Keep moving southeast. Keep moving southeast. We're gonna clear off the peninsula.
so there's one squad south of the main road leading into Desna.
Yeah, move as far
right there.
south as you need to.
The machine
until
gun
you're
right
direct
there
southwest.
behind you.
Ethan, if you're taking too much contact over there, start heading
They're gonna
back southwest.
move along
Regroup with us.
the hill, and there are some Russians.
I'm not sure from where I was wondering.
Hero, whatever you got with you, we're gonna cross as well.
There's someone on the peninsula. I took fire, but he missed. I'm not sure from where.
Daruba is looking this direction,
Alright, copy. Use Hero.
and he's engaging.
Is Echo 1088.
Copy that, Echo 1088.
Dorf is running around here. He's trying to make sure that he doesn't have holes in his defense, I imagine. He's just trying to cover the far south side.
Our southwest flank now.
I believe he's the SL in charge of the Desna defense.
I had a northwest contact where you got together.
Say again?
Sapphire, multiple rifles, less than 200 meters.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 100 meters west of Daruba.
Bump's entire squad opens up on Daruba.
Because they were behind, I couldn't fit. That's fine. That's
Oh, that's funny. Simultaneous reloads.
Down. Gun.
Powder Toast Man putting some heat on the top of this hill. And Daruba is still maneuvering.
Alright, beware, shift to the next rock north.
Copy, moving.
Yeah, man, they're like right north of us across the river.
Yep, just get up to this
See the tracers.
Bump has eyes on some a flanking Russian force here, trying to come up from the south.
Hey, firm. Right on this one.
Dorf is running up. He's got Theory and Beware with him.
Alright, we got.
Dorf, tell you guys are doing a good
And
job.
Bump definitely called it out. Powder
says
Toast
you're all doing a
Man
great
called to the scene. Powder Toast Man now deployed on a rock. He's looking for him.
What are they, just down on the beach?
And I imagine Dorf is, yep, Dorf has binocs out. He looks like he's looking for him. And, yep,
I see a whole lot of them in the open. They're stuck on a rock.
Down on the beach, right?
And then Pony's down. Pony's down.
Got it from the west, kind of by the building.
West.
They are Delta 1133. Delta 1133.
Powder Toast Man's got those rocks covered. Oh, Dorf peeking his head out.
There's still one at the buildings west of radio.
They got me suppressed. But they're Delta 1133.
Let me know when you're pulled together. Alright, 3, you're setting up on the hills in the in F12.
Are they by that hut or in the foliage next to you?
They're all on a rock. They're all on a rock.
Alright, Command. Where we took 2
And I
casualties
believe
in that
British
ambush, I think
command
we're
is
doing
dead.
okay.
Copy that.
Dude,
Yep, British command is dead.
Entire squad on one rock.
Alright, copy that.
And I believe Exped has taken over.
But they, according to dismounts, it'll come up on the north now in more force.
Alright, copy that. 2, go ahead and hold your position. Let Squad 4 reinforce you. He doesn't have a squad leader anymore. 3, keep probing to the south.
Copy.
Alright, squad, I'm taking
Looks
over
like some
command
shots coming in
soon.
from
Alpha,
village.
keep moving to the
Someone's
hills
in a
north.
window.
Keep
That's
moving
Sunny.
I want you guys to
It's
set up in
taking
the
pot
hills,
shots
security
at
north,
One
west, and
Tap Man.
south.
Yeah, so south of
Set up the
U2,
air,
east
start
of me.
watching the town, taking shots at
Oh, and
targets
Daruba.
south.
I think Daruba just hit bump. Or maybe not. Daruba, patience paying off, being the lord over that hill. And Dorf's element now moving.
Top of the hill. And to their southwest.
Oh man, the spacing here
Move
for
up
this
Bravo so
British
they can reinforce them.
squad.
They're on our...
Daruba has his corner covered. Powder Toast Man going to take a peek.
Dead.
I got the right side. Good shit.
Oh, looks like he's
They have the high ground.
maybe spamming through the trees to get part of this building where the radio is.
Let's keep moving back.
Reloading real quick.
Yo,
We can't really
keep
cross.
your ass
If we
over
cross
here,
either
let's
way,
go.
if we cross either way, we're gonna get fucked.
And these guys are actually stuck. Daruba's got eyes over. They lose another man. Bump is now down to 5.
Yeah, me and the rest of you
Daruba's
guys
got
maybe,
cover from the
four
top.
left. We're pretty much pinned down here.
And if they move into the village, there's plenty of people inside the village at this point. Exped's squad is getting closer. They've actually made it up, but they have a squad in front of them. Excuse me, they have a squad in front of them they're going to push through. And here comes Smokes.
Okay, okay, once these smokes move, we're gonna go north. Or northwest, okay, you see that? Those sets of bushes?
Yeah, my squad's gonna pull back north. After we've been taking a lot of fire, we're gonna pin down. We're gonna try and link up.
Take a look-see at the situation right now. Still only 2 squads defending Desda. British looks like they're down to 2 squads as far as reasonable effectiveness. And the Russian squads in the north are moving south very fast. It looks like they're in an all-out sprint.
Squad 5, I'm gonna take command of 4, or the remnants of it.
Aye, aye.
And Exped has gone down. Squad 1 in the southeast getting pretty torn up, looks like. I believe they are being outflanked, and if not outflanked, they're shutting down from above.
How's it looking for you guys?
Yeah, you can see the Russians are all above. They're even throwing smoke or frags down. There's just nothing but these rocks.
Taking heavy casualties. Pretty down here. We're right next to it.
Can you hear a radio?
No, but
The Russians are above them. And very shortly, looks like they're going to try to come over.
Taking heavy fire.
Swine promoted to squad lead now.
I need to fall back.
Oh.
And cover me.
Shadow Soldier and Cadis, they're pretty close to popping over the hill here. Imanaz, you could see behind the rocks there. You may not have been able to see him. He's trying to move up the other side. Shadow Soldier. Shadow Soldier, Cadis, sort of moving around now.
A2, where do you think the radio is? It's maneuvering too many people. We have a
Medic, to me.
Imanaz getting some fire out.
I have enemies 340. 70 meters.
And the British.
Grom, you cover. Let's go. Everyone.
The British on the east here, just holding behind.
340.
Imanaz is trying to peek.
Medic cover north.
Is trying to peek the Russians behind this rock over here to his northwest. He knows they're over in that direction, but no joy.
Spacing.
And the Brits are pulling out south here. The British are smoking and rolling. They're pushing through the field. Looks like they're pushing to a fence and they're trying to cross the road here. More Brits able to sort of reconsolidate here on the east side of this road. I think Sonny's lighting them up here. That's Daruba on the hill. And Digit goes down.
Hey, we have contacts up on the hill east. Contacts on the hill east.
We lost our entire squad trying to get here. Go east.
It's Theory up there.
Yo, stay down. Why are you shot at the top?
Guys, come here. Hold on. I have a plan.
Guys, jump over the fence right where we are. We got you covered.
And they're using the buildings for cover. However, there are Russians just over the hill here. Matter of fact, I guarantee you this guy saw him. This is Peanut.
Around this side, don't peek it.
And Peanut.
There's a 2-story building that they don't have garrison with anyone, and if they do, it's only one or two people.
He was, and he got shot down. One tap man, an RPG 40, trying to engage some fleeing Russians. I think he might have gotten tagged right here by Theory. Theory's got an awesome position on top of that hill. Ooh, grenades being thrown by Vindication.
Yeah,
smokes out. Get ready to push.
Oh, there's smokes.
Contacts northeast.
Wait till they, Wait for them.
Wait for the smokes to start building.
So they're waiting for the smoke to fill here. This is plenty of cover.
Get to the 2-story.
The British are assaulting the building. Vindication in front.
I'm making it. One right here.
Copy.
Oh.
I heard him out.
Peach gets gunned down after taking one. And Daruba, second floor. Theory is still taking out people outside. Billy Bolt GG goes down.
Let's try to take the upstairs. Go slow, go quiet. Crouch.
Squad 2, what's happening there?
Copy.
It's a massacre. We're trying to get this 2-story building.
Buff IQ able to get the trait back on Vindication there.
Do you know where the radio is?
And
No, we do not have eyes on the radio yet.
Buff IQ now on the radio, but he has no command comms. Meanwhile, the Russians from the north beginning to enter the village, and they're running straight to the radio to try to put some bodies on it to defend. Theory finally goes down. And the British trying to make some sort of comeback here. Swine is the only organized group left. But the last British in the village is Buff IQ, please, and he's in the building with the radio. He's going to go upstairs now. As... Oh, Dick's folk is actually across the street. I think Buff IQ is trying to undig it. And he gets gunned down through the wall. That was Sam Rajput. Saeem Rajput. One of those two. Swine's fire team finally gets up to the top of the hill, but they're saturated by Russian fire. And Dick's folks is hopelessly looking on here. I think sooner or later he's going to get spotted. Swine trying to push all the way around to the east.
Sandbag, 050. Fuck.
Swine gets hit there.
They're far, they're deep, they're pretty deep. Zero 50 smoke. 050. There are some sandbags that are looking right over here.
Swine trying to figure out how to assault this position. I think he's going to try to continue pivoting.
Are we the only ones alive except Squally 2?
It looks like it, yeah. We need to go hard and fast here.
And Dick's folk is still prone in the village, although who knows for how much longer. Swine is still trying to pivot. Dick's folk takes out one, so he's probably going to go down here very soon. He's even having... He reloaded, and there are people in the building looking up at him right now. I wonder if you can shoot through these bricks. I would imagine if you got a very direct shot. Apparently not. Dick's folk goes down. Several of those shots would have made it. Swine is pushing in. Imanaz running straight up. Let me see if I can... Imanaz running straight through. Running around. There's a chase. I think someone had a knife out. Imanaz gets hit while he's bandaging, and then he gets dropped. Shadow Soldier 1942. And whoa! Swine jumped straight in. He got a knife! And he bled out. I think he got at least one or two in the building. Pretty sure one of them was a knife because I didn't hear any bullets come out. Let's check and see here if there's any more British alive. No, that's it. GG. Russians win round one. And 32 kills for British, 37 kills for Russia. That's pretty close. We're down to about a squad left for Russia, it looks like. Maybe less than that for sure. Ooh. All right, so that's round one. Round two coming up after a real quick break. Stay with us.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming out to SOTT Basic. I'm your instructor today, Hammering Hutch. You guys can simply just call me Hutch. When we are suppressing an enemy target, the whole intent of this is to keep the enemy's head down so an adjacent unit can maneuver onto them. During this process, we have a thing that happens automatically and organically, whether it be with buddy teams or fire teams. The whole intent is to ensure there's no lull in the gunfire, thus talking guns. Open fire. Contact front. Alpha, bound. I'm up. He sees me. I'm down. Bravo, bound. I'm up. He sees me. I'm down. All right, Bravo set. Alpha, up. He sees me. I'm down. You're now in what is known as a file. You're now in what is known as a staggered column, and usually used when on patrol or when moving from one location to another where contact is imminent. And these are a few of the basic formations that we use during squad ops. The SOTT Advanced Weapons Systems course was created to ensure Squad Ops participants share the same knowledge and understanding of the use and applications of mission-specific weapons and the basic tactics involved in their deployment. The Automatic Rifleman. The Automatic Rifleman is the foundation of a fire team and/or squad. The job of the Automatic Rifleman is to deliver a high volume of prolonged, effective suppressing fire on enemy positions to allow the maneuver of friendly units during offensive operations and the repelling of enemy attacks in defensive operations. The Grenadier, a key member of the fire team and squad. The Grenadier is first and foremost a rifleman who is capable of delivering accurate fire of both high explosive and smoke rounds on point and area targets at varying distances. One of the other added benefits of the Grenadier is to engage dead space, which is essentially an area that cannot be hit by direct fires. The Light Anti-Tank Gunner. Soldiers carrying light anti-tank weapons are, just as Grenadiers, riflemen first. They are the ideal infantry-based counter to both lightly armored and thin-skinned vehicles. At short, medium, and far distances, the rockets fired are a viable weapon against groups of infantry as well. The SOTT Advanced Weapons Systems course, although not a requirement, is highly encouraged for squad ops participants to join to expand their knowledge of how to utilize the tools that are given to us within squad.
And a lat.
And Saeem, if you want to take FTL again, you're more than welcome to.
I just did, sir.
That's fire team leads. You can schoolyard pick your guys again if you want. Same, or what?
Fire teams? Yeah, same. Yeah, same.
respective elements. Lawn, you'll move directly north to that hold area, just to the north of that. Crispy and Storm, you guys start working your way up around. And Storm will give you tactical command of the assault on the fortress top. So whatever you two need to do to get that to work, do it.
Welcome back to Squad Ops One Life Events. We are in the process of kicking off round 2 of Sleeping Serpents Part 3. Once again, I'm Bcarr. Running the production today is Shattered Ritual, and he's taking care of all the multiple cameras, the multiple angles we got, in addition to general stream things. So, round 1. British had a kick-ass plan. They lost the element surprise, they pushed in too slow, and they got whomped from all the high ground that the Russians could command. Now, that was the southern 2 points. They're going to have to defend the northern 2 points this time around. They have to switch to the other villages per some rulesy rules. And that's basically what's about to go down. A little recap of who's on what team right now. Right now, Sugart is running British in the blue outlines. His SLs are Storm, Crispy, Londarts, and Dorf. HML is running Russia this round. They're going to be in the red with squad leads Expit, Hero, Efank, and Bump. We haven't gotten a live time yet, so let's go ahead and go over the map real quick, just so we can see where put everything in perspective. Now, round 1, we dealt with the south villages. So round 2, we're going to deal with the north villages. These are 2 points that the Russians are going to put fobs in. One of them is going to be a supply dump, which means they'll have an HMG tripod that they can add in. And one of them will probably most likely have a mortar emplacement at it. So the mortar emplacement for Russia, they're limited to 1 tube. Just like the HMG at the other site, they're only limited to 1 tube. The mission for British on this map are that they're going to assault across the river at any point they choose, and they have to take one of the 2 sites. So they'll either take the northern village around the factory area, the southern village around, I'm not sure what that's called, where the main bridges are. So the British have to choose one of those 2 points to assault. Once they take it up, once they clear out the Russians from that site, they take over, and the Russians have to re-clear that site. Now the British are going to split up here, looks like. We've got 3 squad leads in this vehicle heading towards the west. And so, of course, we're on Gorodoc. the big river running through the middle of the map is a key terrain feature for this operation. The Russians can't advance east of the river until they take contact. Meanwhile, the British can go ahead and cross the river at will. Additionally, the Russians have surveillance on all of the bridges, as well as, let's just call them anti-bridge using devices on them. And so if the British trip any one of those, the bridge is gone. Therefore, the bridges are out of commission. British will be able to cross the river anywhere along with their vehicles. It's pretty shallow at this point. And the water's pretty warm. So what's not to love about this time of year in Bardock, I suppose? The anti-bridge using devices are certainly key. Normally, you'd see bridge assaults on a map like this, and it would be real easy for the British to throw a bunch of forces straight across a bridge because it sort of lends itself to throwing the forces on a high ground. The high ground, as you saw last round, was super important. The Russians were able to basically repel the British assault and really sort of just pick them off from range for the longest time because they had the high ground. And that's typically what the bridges enable. Bridges enable you to get across from one side of the river to the other, but maintain your high ground advantage, your elevation advantage. The bridges being disabled for use, that's not an option. So all the British forces have to start from the bottom up, which means wide flanks, giving a huge berth to the places that Russia are going to defend. Just take a look at the map real quick. Ooh, so both transports are coming over here. Unlike round one, maybe Sugart's gonna keep his forces combined.
Trader with the third guy ran out of ammo, pulled out his knife.
I think Dorf was talking about Swine's massive assault. And they're out. And now we're seeing British spawn in.
Alright, so don't spawn in yet.
Alright, let me know when you guys are partially briefed, and we'll move on to the platoon brief.
2 ARs.
And now there's just a little bit of the default organization that goes on at the beginning of any round before we go live. The very basic, did you get the right kit? Let us all come together. Let us all do the brief.
That's all for Neva.
I believe we'll get a proper platoon brief out of British this round.
A fire team on the hill marked with green fob mark at Foxtrot.
Yep, I think we are.
Exped's also gonna have another fire team inside the fob.
So we'll be waiting for that. That'll happen pretty soon here, I imagine.
So yeah, Exped chooses where he wants the radio. His fire team's gonna be on the radio, defending that, as well as a fire team on the ridge at Foxtrot 3-3.
And we're gonna get a Russian brief right now. Let's listen in real quick.
Kilo 3-2 at that green fob mark to the east, as well as a fire team down south at Ambush Hill near Foxtrot 4-3. Does that make sense?
So you want me to have my 2 fire teams start out across? Is that what I'm getting from this?
Yeah, you're gonna have your fire teams on the two MG mercs.
Copy.
It's gonna have his fire team on the radio and fire team on the hill to the northwest. And then Efank will have a fire team on the ridge at Golf 813.
Alright,
And
check it
another
out.
one at Golf 951. And then Hero's gonna have the
Squad 4 is
village,
going to set up
northeast
on
side
the
of
two
the village,
MG marks
and
marked
as well as the
to our
castle
east and
at
to our south.
Foxtrot 72.
We're going to have one fire team on the radio proper and one fire team on the hill. So I want whoever's got the medic to
We are going to
stay
be
on the
using the
FOB proper
transports. The way
building.
we're going to do this is
and
we're
the
going to
other
have for
fire team's
reaction
gonna go
force,
to
no
the
matter
hill.
who it is.
And we're gonna have a British
Now
brief
this
now.
round, we will be
Shikard
assaulting
underway.
the town of Niva. If you will all open your maps, I will place a big green castle on it. The way that we're going to assault it is from the south. If you look in Echo 926, you will see a ditch. The platoon will be moving up to that ditch, through that ditch, and then at a pre-planned spot, we'll be splitting off into various objectives. Squad will be setting up a base of fire in Gulf 9. Gulf 917 area. Lawn Darts will be setting up a security line in Echo 836 in that area. Storm and Crispy Squad will be moving around to the north and then assaulting the fortress in Foxtrot 7. If and when they take that, they will act as a door hinge for the rest of the platoon in the south to move up and take the actual town, providing support up there and assisting with the assault in any way that they can. Crispy Squad will be holding the north to prevent enemy reinforcements from arriving too quickly. Any questions? No?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Can we expect enemy contact when we cross the river, or when can we expect?
I would say expect enemy contact at any time during this whole movement. Be on your toes. It's not likely we'll take fire on this side of the river. However, it is possible they have pushed someone down. They do have mobility assets available to them.
Okay, so they don't have any armor.
They don't have any armor, but they do have light transports. They do have some type of base in the town of the north in G3. That's where we can expect our reinforcements to come from. Yeah, keep your spacing, listen to your squad leaders and fire team leads, and most importantly, have fun. Oh wait, also look cool. Make sure you look cool and that you're having fun.
Don't look
Hell
at
yeah. Alright, let's get ready to move.
Guys, we're gamers.
Remember, guys.
You
You know,
guys.
I'm a soldier. I'm
Let's
a
do
damn
this.
soldier. Yeah, I said I'm a-
All right,
I'm
so
Someone's
already
British going to make a main assault on Neva. I believe it's called Neva Lower. The
Chain of command is the same as last round.
two squads are going to hold a southern base of fire, and there's going to be an assault squad that pushes north of Neva and then pushes south onto the objective area. We should have a live. We already have a live time. It should be live very shortly. We'll kick off round 2 of Sleeping Serpents Part 3.
Bravo me. Come on, Bravo.
Line formation.
Medic, you should probably be like middle or closer to the back.
File formation. Not a line.
On the move.
And here we go. We are live. Storm leading the platoon out. Everybody seems to be in
You
a
want us to pause at the river?
glorified single file line.
Following you, Elder.
No, no.
Negative. Keep file. Oh, okay.
Everyone stop running around.
Oh.
Just get in the file.
So the whole platoon coming up from one direction.
Falcon base. Regain strength.
Hold up and get your spacing, guys.
Battle spacing.
Creating battle spacing.
Someone said pretty battle
Guys, stop
spacing.
stopping.
They're almost correct.
Alright, hold. We're launching out.
I'm gonna knife them, man, but you know, we're gonna just run up them and... Right,
I mean, they got buddies, so there's buddy spacing. That works.
If we get caught in this water, we are done for.
No, the tank will fly behind us. There's no water we're going for.
Hey, sure, I missed a little bit of the briefing. You guys are attacking north, correct?
Across the river.
You're good. Tire platoon. Right behind you.
Move, soldier.
The British infantrymen crossing the stream. It travels from one bank to another
Yeah, well.
in search of Russian frogmen to
Remember, last
shoot.
game we were set up on this ridge at this time. Well, to the east.
Lo and behold, the platoon-sized group of infantrymen
Yeah, I don't want to get my feet wet.
There's things going
will
on,
never stop until they find
so to speak.
their adversaries.
Don't forget you have your bicep.
Awesome. I do.
Says bicep on my right corner.
Sonny doesn't want to be a team player, so we are down an AR and a lat.
Are you talking about? What do you need? I'm not a team player.
They climb the
We are
mountain
down 2
at the foot of
possible
the
kills.
river and then go down the other side because why the hell not? Because that's what an infantryman does. They travel the shortest distance possible in order to save their energy for their final hurrah, otherwise known as an assault. These assaults are deadly and could possibly claim the entire platoon. But sometimes the assaults are successful. And the males of the infantryman species live on for another assault.
You want us to start splitting off north now?
This is one of our more exposed areas, so make sure you guys have their eyes open.
So, commands.
Okay.
Shigard is running British this time. He's got Dorf, Storm, Crispy, and Lawn. And this time for HML running Russia, he's got Xbit, Bump, Hero, and Efang.
Stay back.
The Brits now crossing the 10-11 line. Still about a click away from contact. And I do know that there are several squads massing the southern point,
And even after that,
the southern base at Neva.
The medic was trying to get into the building and he shot him.
Well, that medic should have been more careful.
And now we return to infantrymen migrations. I kind of just want to like find one guy. Oh yeah, the master of lawn darts. Let's follow him. Some infantrymen earn extra flair for their arm. These rockers or chevrons denote their dominance over their fellow man. One such hero, Lawn Darts the Master, leads a squad. in the fields of Gorodok in the northerly direction.
Alright, Command, if it's alright with you, one's gonna start their split to the north. Just so we got a better line.
Wait to move with Crispy.
His colleague comes over the radio,
Wait till Crispy's in there with you.
trying to jump the gun on a maneuver. The commanding officer, Sugarheart, puts him in his place. He gets flustered enough to call a squad command over command comms.
Spread now, spread now. Go there, Tortilla. Stick with your.
The infantrymen now holding, doing the thing they most hate, not assaulting. Because what else should an infantryman do other than not assault?
Copy that. Ready.
It's like asking them not to breathe.
Maintain the line.
East 105.
Stay no line.
Alright, line of door.
Little Joe, you stay behind.
We're moving. Two's moving.
Tortilla,
Yeah.
stay behind. Stay behind me.
Copy.
Isn't this exciting?
Alright, we're going for stealth here, guys.
I guess they've entered the trench now. Maybe this low ground drop off here is where the trench that Sugar was talking about.
Check out the squad.
Let's check. And not quite yet. No, actually, this may be. Yeah, look at it. This field is pretty wide open, and actually, I wonder if these guys over in Russia could see them.
Get back into the line. Tortilla, fall back.
Oh Christ, I don't like this.
If they have binocs looking this way, the Russians might be able to see them move across this field.
Too quiet.
There is some concealment for them, but I wouldn't bet on that actually working.
But after the storm, there's always going to be the rainbow. So
Infantrymen talking about rainbows as if they actually saw one ever and it mattered to them.
Just the barrage of mortars coming.
Just blindly follow.
yeah, RMG.
That would definitely suck.
Hey, Lon, be ready for possible contact at the rock formation ahead.
Move up.
Copy that.
Like I was just waiting. He was just waiting
Crispy
there and just
moving
got him.
along here.
I was like, holy.
This guy's binocs out. He's
like,
looking
the
for trouble.
patience on that guy.
Well, because I told not to shoot, and then they fired a single shot at one of
And
our
the
other
trench run
guys,
has
and I was like,
begun.
okay, now smoke him. So we just killed him.
There's this hill that they're sort of in front of
dwarf,
right
break
now.
here.
And it's
Alright.
actually a creek.
Break.
Less of a trench, more of a creek. They're all hunched over. They believe in themselves. The stealth is real. Of course, there's no contact yet, so, potentially everything's fine. Peanut leading this part of the formation here.
Got no eyes now. It looked like two guys sending.
She'll get 075 from my position, possible.
Yeah, like east 075.
Copy that. Keeps stealth as much as possible.
I don't know. It's
And Londart's the master with the keen eye, calling out contact potentially 500 meters away from them. And if they're not careful, they're going to get themselves skylining here pretty harshly. There's a lot of trees between Peanut and these Russians.
Rico and hang here for a
But
minute.
not the ones to the south.
You want me?
And there is a squad lead over there. Who is that? That is Efank.
Yeah, Lon, do not let your guys skyline. Contact north, contact north, east.
Dwarf calls contact
You're
northeast.
on the rock. Copy that, okay. Melt back if you can. Have they seen you?
Unclear, probably.
He's running, just run. Right
Shift 15, shift 15.
Okay.
Get into the trees, 15. No, don't engage yet.
3 called out
He
Efank.
sees us.
Oh, he probably
So
sees us.
Dwarf called
but
out
we need to get out of
Efank's
the open
position.
and up in these trees. Northeast of us.
Yeah, and
Try to get me a
it's
little bit more intel on that.
not
they're definitely
very
in those rocks. They were running away
inconspicuous.
from us, so they probably
Two
did
of
see
them,
us.
two of them.
Pair.
Confirm.
He saw 2 repositioning.
Alright, Storm, just be aware. The jig might
See him on top
so
of rock
be ready
still. I
for
think he's looking
height.
at us.
Okay, stay down, stay in the defilade.
Copy that.
Efank
Crispy,
might
don't leave.
definitely have eyes on.
Yeah, no.
At least 2.
Okay, it's probably a scouting pair.
Oh yeah, definitely
Yep, I
has
see him. There's a
eyes
squad
on.
leader with him. There's a squad leader with him.
Shoot it. This is 2.
They're at 75. Free to engage.
We are gonna engage these contacts.
Get moving up the LMG.
Oh yeah, best pony.
I'm ready to fire.
Alright, ready? Engage.
Here we go.
One behind the rock. They were also right of the rock.
Reloading. Range is like 200, 150 or something.
Efank and a fire team pretty bugged down. They're sort of stuck in behind this rock.
Reloading. Oh, we're taking shots.
Dark Milkshake and Pony engaging with their
Mortars.
squad.
Gunshots.
Chris, they're gonna be calling for reinforcements
Ooh.
from the northern point.
Digit.
Copy.
Oh, mortars. That was real close. I think Pony had to bandage from one of them. So Pony gets hit by a mortar fragment. That was some pretty spot on mortars within 10 meters of Pony and his MG buddy. And more mortars incoming. And those are pretty close, so definitely in the southern part of the 2 northern villages. The southern village, I'll just call it that from now on. In Neva.
Ridge line next to road.
Yes.
Can't even see.
So the mortar's still mortaring the old position, but the British are falling out of there pretty fast.
Well, I took like 80% damage. I think we are.
Confirmed fortifications are hot. Southern fortifications confirmed, northern fortifications unconfirmed.
More mortars being shot out here.
Rocket, or 4 is taking a rocket, I believe. Yeah, that should let it back.
The mortars are still hitting that old position. There hasn't been British in them for a while, but they sent 2 volleys.
Yeah, Boar took contact from a RPG. You know we're coming.
I wonder why they're moving south. I guess they're going to try to sweep up the Russians on the East River over here. Meanwhile, contact.
That engages before.
One and 4-2 is going to assist you with some fire support.
Some Russians were shooting something south here. Squad 4 for British complaining that he got shot at by a rocket.
Revy, just stick to that.
And Storm calling 1 in position, ready to make the assault run. And here they come. And they're getting shot at right out the gate.
Don't get in the open. Copy that too. We're starting to take contact now. Alright, everyone, get in cover. Get in cover. This is long range contact. Get in cover. Damn.
Yeah, well,
Let's get it,
running out
boys.
in the open probably wasn't a good idea. Rocket from the fortification.
Everyone get in cover. Run back to cover.
I am.
Same.
Some of
Get to
Storm's
cover.
some of Storm's squad not listening to him
No,
the
I
first
didn't get
time when he said get in cover.
On my screen, you got
Sam, stand up and get to cover.
Eyes on 090. 200 meter.
Alright,
Oh,
one's starting to
God.
get engaged with mortars. We
I think
can't
that was
stay
a
here.
raging
We're gonna
mortar
move.
shot.
Alright, come on.
Well
come on. Come on,
behind,
guys.
well behind Squad 4, I believe
Move
this is Squad
southeast.
4. Yep, well behind Squad 4.
Move
I'd
southeast.
say it's probably about 70 meters behind Squad 4.
Pick up and move.
Taking shots.
Taking fire.
Hit this ridge line here.
Squad
Hit this
1
ridge line
now
here.
maneuvered around a bit, still getting shot at from the
Yep,
top of
move to
the
south
from the top of the fortress wall. But they're going to go straight into this cover here, or the concealment rather.
Good cover.
Squad 1's still at full strength here. I think Squad 4 is also at full strength. They're just taking a little longer to get there. Oh! Tortilla goes down. Who's that? Matt Bob and Ozpol. I can't tell right now. Oh, Smokes. Oh, no. Fritz is just blindly firing at this point.
Smoke's out, get in there. Smoke's out, go, 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 go. Move. Do not sit still. Do not sit still.
Storm leading from the front.
Get under the depression.
Doesn't give a shit.
Move forward.
Storm is trying to get a squad to follow him. And here comes the fire team to help Bartok along with Little Joe and Mr. Moneyman.
Get up there. Watch
And
the southern compound.
here comes the assault. Storm still leading from the front, but he's got his friend, he's got his fire team in close support.
Go on, I'm gonna cover you from here.
Copy that.
Grenades come out.
Yeah, so I can't throw my grades.
Here comes grenades. Oh, the grenades were short. I was expecting nades to actually happen in the compound.
Get in there.
Frag out.
Watch out, these guys.
Oh, frag. That might get it one. More frags.
Negative.
Frags are thrown over. And Storm goes down to a murder hole. The rest of his squad still trying to get something working here. Lil Joe peeking through. Frag gets thrown. Rolling down the hill. Mr. Moneyman now in charge. He's trying to peek the murder hole now. But he's back his turn. No, he turns around.
Guys, right above my head. Right above my head.
Simply wasn't looking the right way, and that guy gets two. That was Vindication. Vindication. He's a pretty good player. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Miyamoto just. Oh, what a trade. Is still holding this for Russia. He's got the only place where he can have some eyes. British forces are. Oh, Fulcrum got one, guys. It's cool. Oh, what a shot by Hero! He pops out of his bunker and totally decimates someone with the Whirl. Command comms got pretty quiet here after some squad leads went down. And there might be some shifting going around as far as delegating command comms.
Command, I think it'd be in our best
Someone
interest
hopping
to,
the hill. Oh, a Hero
Command
gets
three, I
popped.
think it'd be in our best interest to
Little
try and
Joe
disable.
ends up wounded though, and able to survive. Let me take a look at the map real quick. Yeah, there's no command comms. That's sad. Oh, 3 Dwarf is still up. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I'm moving towards that to try and get comms.
Yeah, copy that. So 3, you are.
Hey, do we know if this compound still has a hostile?
Fulcrum asking the question we're all trying to figure out here. And looks like they have this one.
Contact to the compound south.
Fulcrum calls out contacts to the south. There's only the one guy, Wellome, but there's also Raph, who is down the hill here. Oh! Fulcrum missed the guy standing in the door, and he got traded.
Hey, if I can get over there, I can put a satchel charge on the wall.
Fulcrum's rocket went through the doorway, even though the guy was blocking half the doorway.
If there's no opposition, I'm gonna
That's unfortunate. Fulcrum, you will be missed, buddy. Sorry. Raph falling back. So the Russians.
you and me.
Oh, hello. The northern reinforcement squad's coming in.
Yeah, cover fire.
This is 2.
Shoot.
2. It looks like
Off in the distance, Expit is beginning to push forward here.
Copy that.
And they're moving further south now. I think they're going to try to flank around and maybe get at the British that are on the south.
4, update on your current. Command might.
The Breacher kit actually killed one. 10 out of 10 for Little Joe. The bunkers are clear now. So no Russians remain in the bunkers at this point. Probably about a squad and a half push this objective, and now at this point, 2 British come out as a couple of British get pounded here by the mortars. The mortar is able to claim a couple more right here. There's only 2 British coming off this hill, and that's Sov and Little Joe, and they're running straight into a pretty defended Russian hamlet here. Get a little update on kills right now. 13 for British, 18 for Russia.
Watch out.
And Sov and Little Joe get spotted.
150-ish.
And mortars. The Russians down there, looks like Vegas MSI and Beastman taking shots at Sov.
Oh gosh.
Let's check the mortar. Ooh, yeah. The mortars were actually, they're actually pretty close to sitting the mortar here. This is one tap man on the mortars. Ooh. Mortar's a little bit off. Maybe about 10 degrees to the right. And of course, at this range, he's just throwing them in because they're going to take so long to land. They're getting closer, but the two Brits up here have perfect cover in this bunker until they peek out here. All they're doing is just draining mortar ammo.
Sonny's dead. Let's keep pushing. Keep pushing northwest.
But the British attack here is becoming unhinged pretty quickly.
Peeked around and killed himself. That was awesome.
There's some reconsolidation attempting to happen.
Well,
The Lawn Darts has moved a squad west starting to move it to the north, but he's running into, I think this is Expit's squad from Expit's squad from the north, and Expit's down. Lawn Dart's getting probably 2 there. Lawn Darts along with Cadus. So Swine now having to take Expit's squad here. Lawn Dart's attempting to put the kibosh in this, Lawn Dart's the master, is attempting to end this push. But Pipe Funk gets another one. I think Cadus goes down. He went down so fast his body's gone. I can't see.
Bearing 300 from me. He's not far.
Lawn Darts knows he's there.
Getting suppressed. 3 witches strike 4.
And Swine is pulling the fire team off here. The only person left behind is Pipe Funk, and he's in a pretty stuck position right now. Dorf able to put together a little attack here.
Roger. I got it covered. I'm gonna run up to the blue house.
He's got a fire team's clearing buildings, and he's got a fire team leader with him.
Looks like they're all trying to shift to our north.
There's plenty of Russians left. This is far from over for British.
Shed south is here.
British are going to have a little bit of a problem trying to reorganize to a push here, but I don't even think they know where they want to push. There's no real consensus in squad comms. It's pretty light right now.
Watch how they can shoot through these.
Dorf able to get one through the window there. What a shot. He knows he got one too. He's calling over his FTL that's with him.
Is there right building?
Yes.
Dorf shooting some more.
Just keep yourself spread out. Don't let them get hit.
This is Daruba sold out. He's looking through the window. He's trying to see someone. Ooh. I guess they're abandoning that house. One person goes down to the first floor. Yeah, and that mortar definitely got someone. So Atomic Peach is now by himself.
Push
Not
to
sure
us.
who that was.
We're gonna take this red building.
Gets mortared.
Oh yeah, I'm a breacher. I'm gonna die here though.
Oh fuck!
Peach making the right call, getting a little bit further away, but he gets shot at crossing the road. And he gets destroyed. That was CNC 3000.
Yeah, we have eyes on them here, west of the intersection at 8.
That was an amazing shot. He had eyes on him going the whole way across the road. Daruba throwing some smoke. And Dorf already threw some smoke to the north here. They want the red building. CNC 3000 has a good sort of counter angle here. Matter of fact,
Don't do that.
Let those guys do that.
yep, let's see here. If they won't be able to see him coming up the field, CNC might be able
That
to
is their
see
fault
these
building
guys
here.
crossing. A grenade gets thrown. Not far
Command, we've
enough.
caused a good number of them to fall back.
Frag you through. Yeah, copy.
Do a little recap here real quick. 22 kills for British, 25 kills for
Well, we're
Russia,
gonna just have to
so
hold here for now.
closer than it appears, but still a lot left to play for. And it all comes down to what happens next.
This building has way too many windows.
It's not a good compound to be in. Did he get shot?
Russia keeping a pretty passive approach here, but they got the numbers
didn't see it.
concentrated where it doesn't really matter. And if
Command's
British
pushing us.
get their
Hold on,
CQC
so
on real fast, and they turn up
What
with
a-
their A game,
What a roller
this could
coaster
still swing their way.
of a match.
They didn't have a great
defenders always have
assault.
the
A
advantage.
grenade
Oh, no,
comes
but
out, but
this,
it's not going to hit
everything
anyone.
we've done so far. I've got the
More British are attempting to cross this field up here. And I think they're getting shot at from the farm. From far away. The Brits are now starting to consolidate. There's a fire team that's moving up towards the Crucible sort of castles. We've got one crawling through the field on their belly.
probably at least a fire team in that red building.
Major right here. Someone's shooting out. That's HML and One Tap Man. One Tap Man is on a roof here, and he's got a deployed bipod. This was the mortar man, so I suppose they're out of mortars. Which, I guess it's whatever at this point. I'm sure they got some spook left. This is a pretty good distraction, though. Shughart, the commander, also in this crawling, along with, who's that behind him? Saturn's Call. This is HML. Took out Major right there. So command on command very shortly. I think Shughart threw a grenade over it. And here comes another grenade. That is a little short. Oh, Dorf mounts the hill.
See more of them. 342.
Alright, caution.
342.
This is midnight right here. Dorf gets knocked out. HML. No, that was One Tap Man.
Alright, 3 squad lead just went down. Alright, Daruba, just try to find a safe spot where you're at. I'll link up with you.
Roger.
And the limited command comms on British now trying to get some sort of coordination going. Shughart moving to Daruba's position. And One Tap Man might have seen
I'm trying to keep the pace up here.
might have seen Shughart or Saturn's Call move across. Let's get an overhead view here. We're facing south generally, and appears to be 3 British in front of me here to the south of the main objective building. There are British to the north. Hold on a sec. There's 3 British to the south. 1, 2, 8 Russians on the compound. 10 Russians in the compound generally. And British to the north, there's 3. So maybe 7? Yeah, so I'm going to say 7 British remaining, 4 in the north, 3 in the south, against roughly 10. So it's almost a squad versus just over a squad. There is a pincer move. However, their command comms are not with the. They have Londarts, who I haven't heard talk in about 10 minutes now.
How you doing up there, Ruba?
Londart's the master, being a little quiet right now. I think they were trying to get out of this trench here, and they thought better of it.
I'll save one. We might need it later.
Alright, T, what's
Anyone
your
got any grenades?
I got mine.
They threw a bunch of smoke. I'm not sure what the deal is. Maybe this is a distraction. They're gonna sweep around a little bit more to the northwest, northeast.
They're probably going to be making their way.
Yeah,
so just keep
distraction something.
Like Golf 8-8 sort of area. Yeah, the rocks in front of us. They may have enemy up here.
Ooh, no. A Russian element is basically right behind the command element. Sugar engaging. Swine turns on him and dunks him. Oh, and Daruba dunks Swine. Daruba then gets shot by, I believe that was someone over near the radio. It's probably One Tap Man. Londart's fire team is spotted crossing northeast. They're in the rocks over here. I believe we're down to about 5 British left.
To the west, cover the south.
Yeah, Saturn's Call is still south of the town. Glory gets up on a hill here.
Okay. Me and you.
I'm moving first. Oh fuck! Building.
No, those windows to the west.
And gets shot at by someone in the window. Glory trying to get eyes on. Oh, definitely a good attempt there. Hits the cross post in the window. That's Zaki 90. He gets hit. So he's bleeding. Finally off the window. Revy goes down though. Glory trying to re-engage. Spamming windows, trying to keep him down, but Zaki bandages and then, you know, just moves from window to window. He's just moving from window to window. He's never stopping. Just the narrowest of angles right there. And now Glory also getting engaged. That was a little bit by Epic Smile, maybe a CNC 3000. Glory throwing smoke. And now a frag. And I think he just got hit again. Meanwhile, Londart's. Oh, this is Saturn's Call. Is Londart's dead? Nope, not yet.
Sounds like it's coming from 300-ish. All right, I see one guy bearing 295 in a building. It's a small wooden building, 295. He's in the window.
Londart's trying to put some inflating fire on the building.
295.
Four British remaining by my account.
I see it. One, he ran to the red building.
Glory's still up.
There,
And Ricochet Man and
Yeah,
Londart's the master are trying to talk it out here.
he moved to the right. He's actually near the red building now. I can't see.
They're trying to talk each other on targets over here at the red building. Meanwhile, Saturn's call goes down. That was Pipe Funk. No, that was Ibanaz and looks like Grom and Gunner Sergeant Rabbit. Swine, or this HML, the command, and One Tap Man
Still out here.
it has pushed way to the south, and they're looking north. Matter of fact, they may have actually spotted lawn darts here. I think they may have got a. I think they may have got something because they went prone. I think they see. I think they saw a Ricocheted Man or lawn darts move. It was probably Ricocheted Man move. Ricocheted Man has moved up another 10 meters. Let me check and see if Glory's still up. Yeah, that looks like a no. And Ricochet Man goes down. Whoops. Londart's the master, crawls in the field. One Tap Man adds fire. The lone British left. One Tap the Londart's the master. Crawling in the field. This is now turned into Metal Gear Solid 5 with this camera angle right here. I thought One Tap, One Tap and HML, they're sort of just like hanging out right there, but no, I don't know who he's shooting at. Imanaz, Gunner Sergeant Rabbit, getting closer. He's gotten pretty close now. Lundart's getting pretty close, but he's still got to cross the road. He's going to get pinged as soon as he crosses the road. Ooh, is over here? That's Grom. This is when the evil side of me takes over and wants to like start having a conversation with lawn darts right now. But I can't. And neither should you if you are ever in this position. The Southern Security fire team moves up, but lawn darts breaks cover. He actually still has concealment. Oh no. Oh, lawn darts, the stealth master, has now infiltrated this garage, this backyard, this fenced off area. Oh. And I guarantee you HML will have eyes on very shortly. If Londarts doesn't see him first. Well, that was an anticlimactic. Londart's the master. I think we have to with the drone back. Hey, GD! Russia 2-0 today. Defense strong, question mark, lol? That's 24 kills for British, 35 kills for Russia in this round. We're going to bring in our good old commands, HML and Sugart.
Hello.
What's one of those two? Hey guys, what's going on? That was pretty fun.
Yeah, it's just me right now. I think HML is still on his way.
Oh, HML is still on its way. Well, Shug, answer me this. What? I mean, did you think about splitting your attack up at all instead of just running up there all at once? Or was just the single like thrust up, at once and then sort of splinter off later on? Was that more appealing to you as far as an organizational standpoint?
Well, my initial plan was to take the fortress first and then shift forces down in the south once we had taken that, if and when we took that. So as it turned out, Dorf's objective was to set up a base of fire down there to the south, looking across the railroad tracks. There was an enemy unit there, so we had to kind of call a little bit of an audible on that.
So you ended up having, you just ended up, I mean, ultimately you didn't have enough support fire for the fortress push, which is why it sort of fell flat. Or it didn't exactly fall flat. It worked. You ate a lot of, it cost a lot for you guys to do it.
Yeah, definitely.
Just wondering if we have HML in here.
He is.
Hey, HML, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
It's pretty good. I mean, how many times have you commanded so far?
This is my third actual operation.
Yeah, that assault round one seemed pretty well thought out. I kind of liked it. What was your thought when you realized you lost the element of surprise?
So much had gone, so much had happened that was completely unplanned for. Of course, Expit taking contact on the east before we were even in position was just completely like I could not have thought about that. My plan was once Expit took contact, once the mortars were out, and once everything kind of happened, was just to do it quickly. You know, my original plan was to do it slowly, let them start thinking, let the contact get into Sug's head. But since it happened so quickly, we kind of rushed. But yeah, no, I mean, I think it kind of went great. I would have liked some more of a push. Of course, I had kept reminding my SLs that we were going up against two squads and that there were two squads behind us the entire time.
Which is super funny because you had the right idea. Just for speaking from an outsider perspective, you had the right idea. You needed to push faster because one squad got pulled off the southern defense to try to look for Expit squad in the east crossing the river. So there was only one squad defending the objective that you were going for. You guys just didn't execute fast enough, and you got bogged down when that squad came back. But that was, I mean, both times were pretty close. It was less than, I think round one, it was a closer margin for Russia. Obviously, Russia won both rounds, but I think it was a closer margin for Russia that time than the second round. I think we were down to 8 first round, and there were definitely 10 alive last time.
Yeah, it was something close.
It was pretty good. I think it's a pretty good margin as far as fun factor for these operations. So thank you. That was HML and Sugart, our commands for today. Thank you guys for putting in the time and helping us run this operation for today.
No problemo.
And that's going to do it for us here for session one. We got something else coming up this afternoon. It's called an operation. And you know what? If I was prepared, I would tell you what it was. I think it's called Grit, if I'm not mistaken. But that is tonight. Session 2 is 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific. You can watch that on our Twitch or YouTube, twitch.tv/squadops. Our YouTube channel is something other. It's also linked on our website, squadops.gg. And if you're interested in joining the community, that's where our Discord is. That's where you can get started with on your path to participate in operations like this. I'm Bcarr for Shadow Ritual. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later.